So you heard it there. Donald Trump basically said your guy should sit back and relax. Well, what say you?
Yeah, he's running scared a little bit. DeSantis is the future, and Trump sees him as the primary challenge in a primary where DeSantis hasn't even gotten in yet. And we're in May of the year before the election. So, and DeSantis is the most popular Republican in America, judging by his favorability, and even Trump voters like Donald Trump's voters also like DeSantis. So DeSantis, once he gets in this race, has an enormous upside potential to move up. So, and we can all go through all the races in history where people have been in similar position and been the nominee the next year. And I think he's the guy to do that. And he'll be the most conservative and the most electable when he gets in the race.
You know, you say there's room to run up. That's certainly the truth. Running scared, Donald Trump. I'm not so sure that he's running scared. When you look at the polls, he's currently up by 31, according to the Real Clear Politics average. In the month of April, Ron DeSantis, the closest he got, was within 15 points. Is it time, Ken, to sort of, at least from your perspective, take the gloves off against Donald Trump? Go on the attack. And if so, how and where do you do that?
So when you saw, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, Donald Trump attack DeSantis for his COVID response, of all things, DeSantis responded really by indirectly. He didn't engage in the name calling. He didn't engage in the sort of petulant response. He said, well, let's look at my COVID record. Look at the scoreboard. And I think you're going to keep seeing that from the governor. And yes, we'll swing back. It's a campaign, but the governor leads the way. And as a super PAC, we'll follow that lead as best we can from what we see publicly. And thus far, I think he's handled all that very well. He just finished, from a conservative's perspective, a phenomenally successful legislative session. And it's his leadership as governor that have people all over the country excited about him as a president. It's nice that it's consistent with his congressional time, where he was one of the founders of the Freedom Caucus. But what really has people excited is his leadership, that he fights and wins and sees these things through in ways that, I'm sorry to say, President Trump never did.
Hi, Ken. It's Ashley Hayek. My question for you is,
Hey,
I
Ashley.
understand that he's fighting and he's pushing back on wokeness, especially in Florida. But at what point does he stop fighting Mickey Mouse and start taking on Joe Biden?
Well, I think if you listen to him regularly, Ashley, you'll hear press conference. I think it was earlier today. He was, again, making comparisons to the failure of the Biden administration. He does that very regularly. And in Florida, he has 4 of the largest media markets in the country that have been in his grill over these sorts of issues for 5 years. He's done very well with them. And I think the gradual pivot to comparing his record to the failure of Joe Biden has been growing and growing and growing. And when he's actually in the race, as we hope he'll get in, obviously at this PAC, then he'll be unfettered in terms of doing that. And my prediction, I've said it before, I'll say it again, if Ron DeSantis is the nominee, Joe Biden will not debate him. He will find reasons, he will find excuses not to debate, because the calm, measured, intelligent, prepared Ron DeSantis would overpower Joe Biden in a debate. It would be an embarrassment. It's not like the first debate with Donald Trump, where Donald Trump actually lost to Joe Biden. And anybody, you don't have to believe me, you can go back and look at it for yourself. Ron DeSantis, that won't happen.
In order for him even to get to the stage, to be on the same stage with Biden, he's got to beat Trump, right? And so to do that, you have to organize, you have to have a message that differentiates yourself. I saw so many opportunities last night, like you did, that he can differentiate itself. You have so much experience with the border. Why do you trust DeSantis more than you trust Trump on the border?
Well, obviously, I served in Trump's administration as Deputy Secretary at Homeland Security, and I got to see up close and firsthand a lot of the failure of follow-through. I mean, there were some great accomplishments. Title 42, we were turning people around very quickly under Title 42 in the last year.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.